Deion Sanders is taking one from Tennessee's roster. Here's what I was told last night, and that was that Deion got a good player. And I think that with Amari McNeill, he was going to play this year. He was going to play a significant role. This was a surprise to Tennessee that he entered the transfer portal. But if you look at the other, and I wrote about this on offthehooksports.com, if you look at the other teams that Deion has gone after, it's been Alabama, Florida State, Kentucky. I think that it's almost complimentary that Colorado would come after one of Tennessee's players, and they're going to battle them on the recruiting trail. Deion Sanders is smart enough to know, Caleb, that the best football is played in the South. So he's going to continue to come after players in the South. That the Deion Sanders thing is not going away. It might go away eventually if he can't coach, if his staff can't coach. But, that's going to be a thorn in Tennessee's side and Alabama's side and Kentucky's side and everybody's side, especially in the SEC, for quite some time. So I think to just dismiss it and say McNeill was a fourth-round defensive tackle is completely unfair, Caleb. I think he would have played. He would have been a factor. My source told me that they thought of it as a loss, and it was a surprise.
I'm not going to ask you to reveal your source or anything like that, but are you sure your source, the coaches, whoever leaked it to that source, there wasn't some gamesmanship going on? Because I didn't see it with Amari McNeill. God, if he was that much of a factor, he played 6 games last year, had a total of 3 tackles. This guy was, when he committed to Tennessee, they didn't even know if he was going to play offensive line or defensive line. Are we sure that this wasn't a little bit of gamesmanship by Tennessee? Because I did not see where he was going to be in the rotation this year.
Well, let me clearly state where I am on this. I think he was going to be in the rotation. Do I think he was going to be the 5th defensive tackle? Probably. The 4th defensive tackle with an injury? Maybe. As you rotate guys in. And that they were surprised by the move. I'm not telling you that they suddenly lost Joe Milton, okay? But I do think at the end of the day, is it going to affect wins or losses this season? No. But was it a significant loss? Is he going to be a little thorn in your side, Deion Sanders? Yeah, with the transfer portal. That's my only stance. I'm not saying that he was the next John Henderson.
Okay, where would we say Tennessee's interior defensive line unit ranks in the SEC right now? Like in terms of like where they stay. I mean, are they even in the top half?
Yeah, I think they are. I'm actually really high on, from what I've been told, Tennessee's defensive tackles.
Okay, so the reason I'm just Deion Sanders pushed out 40-something transfers, however many transfers to the portal, and he's like, we're bringing in these superstars, and there's no room for any of these guys, and just be prepared. The splash he makes is a guy who would be 5th in the defensive line rotation at another school.
Yeah, but in the SEC, 5th something because you can have injuries. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 4 loss. I think some people have it as a 1 loss. Travis said he might have had 20 snaps all season. Now he's saying 50. Sorry, corrected himself there. I think they gave him the advice to go. That's the one thing I want to address is, as a Tennessee fan, you should look at this. They did not give him the advice to go, from what I was told. They wanted him as depth. The point is that I'm trying to make, and maybe not doing a great job of it, Deion Sanders is going to rob teams of depth, and Tennessee is one of them. And this was a loss that, at the end of the day, if you ask Josh Heupel, would you rather have him or not? He would rather have him.
Well, isn't that partially, like, we talk about this all the time, defensive line and offensive line, you're never going to push anybody out at those 3 positions because you want as much depth as possible no matter what. Like, just bodies matters, doesn't it?
No, that's very true. Having a guy that's willing to do that is something.